Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and today we're going to Duna. We have a 221 meter per second burn here. This is our resource scanner that was around Minmus. He has left Minmus. He's coming in for a swing around Kerbin, and then he's going to burn here to eject himself off on his way to Duna. We're still a couple days ahead of time, but you know these sort of things. They're windows. They're windows of opportunity. They open and close. They're not set points in time. But anyway, it's this tiny little 11-second burn. I'm going to get this thing done, and then we're going to launch the actual main ship. And you'll notice this thing has full fuel in it. That's not my fault. I didn't cheat. There was a mod I installed that I think screwed up all in-flight flights and gave them free fuel. Didn't do it on purpose, but it happened. Okay, here's our Duna encounter. If we just burn a little bit forward, we should... There we go. Duna encounter. Let's go ahead and focus view. See if we can get... Might as well try to get as close as possible to it. And that's north and south as close as possible. That's pretty darn good. Maybe just a tap more. Okay. Okay, and it's the next morning at the Space Center. However, we don't want to launch in the morning. We want to launch at sunset. And all will become clear when you see this. We want to launch right after... Oh, look at that. Moon's setting too. Which is good. That means the moon won't be in our way. Right after the sun sets. I've done a couple test launches just to see how things work. And that's exactly what we want. Okay, we've got the Duna lander. And Yarmethian, you are not going in this thing. We are sending, starting with Agent Kerman. We're going to be sending people starting with Agent, because he's the next one to go. He's a pilot, and Starvin Marvin is also a pilot. Engineers are pilots. And now we want a scientist, so we're going to dig down and see who our first scientist is. And, oh, Regex. Regex gets to be the scientist who gets carted to Duna. You three, one of you is going to land on Ike, one's going to land on Duna, and Regex goes both places, but he doesn't get to drive. That's the plan. Let's go ahead and launch these guys for $193,000. Computer's on, cranked up. Something is already hot, which is kind of scary, but apparently the temperature's going down. I have no idea what that is, but this mod is highlighting it, which really scares me. But let's tell you what. Let's go ahead and take a seismic scan, an atmospheric pressure scan, and an atmosphere analysis. Regex, you can... Oh, an atmosphere analysis. Apparently we can't take an atmosphere analysis for whatever reason. But Regex, you can grab those experiments when we get into orbit. So, in 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh, it's stowed. That's kind of cool. The game knows that it's behind the shield. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, this is a fairly standard launch, but I'm going to talk a little bit during it. This launcher here is... I made this to launch 35 tons into low Kerbal orbit. The ship that we're launching, though, weighs about 30-ish tons. So we're going to get a lot farther than that. So what we're doing here, the reason we're launching at dawn, at sunset instead of at dawn, is we're not going to launch into orbit. We are going to push this thing until it fails completely. Come on, don't fail on me. Why is this thing having a problem? Okay, there we go. We're going to really screw up our gravity turn because we're talking. But what we're doing here is we're going to launch this guy and just keep going. And when the center stack here runs out, it's going to either still have a periapsis within the atmosphere, or it's going to have escaped Kerbin. Depends on how efficient my launch is, and I can already tell you my launch was not that efficient. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that efficient. Okay, we're about to lose the bottom stage here, or the side stage. Get away from me. There we go. We're also 25 kilometers up, so we should be able to pretty strongly turn. Actually, our periapsis is only 45, so we're not doing that bad, actually, when it comes to launch efficiency. I'm going to come back when we're ready to ditch the fairings, and I will show you what is in this bad boy. Okay, we are at 50 kilometers, which is when I like to ditch my fairings, so there they go. And here it is. This is the Dumbbell, and I actually need to fix something here. because I never set this to 90, and that'll screw things up if I don't have that set to 90. This is my first foray into infernal robotics. I've never used it before, and I'm excited to try it now. Once we get this guy into space, I'm going to show you what this guy, how he opens up and everything. But this is the main ship. We've got a ton of food. We've got the main fuel tanks that are going to take us all the way, or actually pretty much slow us down at Duna, and also refuel the lander. The lander is one thing, and it's just going to land on Ike, and then it's going to land on Duna. Once it's landed on Duna and comes back, it's not going to be able to come back. So, yeah, see, he might actually burn all the way up, but we've only got 200 and some odd meters per second left. We haven't even made it to Moon yet, so probably not. Moon is around 10. Not a big deal, though, because our periapsis is 54. Let's go ahead and hit X and get us out of the atmosphere here. Might as well do that first. And then ditch the bottom stage, which is now going to, if you look at our periapsis, is low enough that it is going to go. Now, we need to very quickly here undock this. We're going to decouple this thing from the front. Then we are going to hit the engines here. We're going to stage them. We're actually going to stage the other one as well. Then we're going to thrust forward a little bit to catch up with our service bay, which is already... come on, grab it. This didn't happen in testing. There we go. And now we're going to go back here. And we're going to hit the gas and burn to Duna. And you'll see we've got a pretty much straight shot. And we're doing this sans maneuver node. Our descending node is 1 degree, which is pretty awesome. We should see our Duna encounter any second now. That is pretty good. Okay, 480. It's going down as we thrust. 124. 123. Okay, it's going back up, so we're going to leave it like this. Now, somewhere in the midpoint here, we are going to add a maneuver, and then we're going to try to make this better now. We need to probably slow down a little bit. No. Speed up a little bit. Boom. There we go. There we go. This is looking good. Let's see what our encounter looks like. That's actually really good. Let's go ahead and speed up just a little bit more and get him right there. See, once you get really close, these mid-course corrections are really cheap. That's basically what I'm doing. And then we're just going to get a collision planned if we can. Right? Yeah, that's fine. That's good enough. And then here's a contract we're going to do. This is the face. The face is right here in the middle of this crater here, which is awesome. But yeah, this is the ship. Sadly, it's dark. Let's go ahead and fast forward time until the sun rises here. We also want to get the solar panels out, which I believe is backspace. Maybe I never set a action group for it. Let's go ahead and get the panels out. I thought for sure I did that. I don't know if 4 solar panels is enough for Duna, but I'm sure we'll find out. I could extend these ones, but they're under the engines, which is probably a bad design choice. But these things came down. I could have brought these things up, but I didn't want to get in the way of anything going on here. Okay, well, that's it. We have launched to Duna, and our ship has a lot of fuel left in it. The one thing we need to do is these guys are at level 0. These guys need to have their pump on and balance and be at level 8, because they are always going to be emptying their fuel into this guy, because this guy needs to always be full. And then that's it. We're going to we're slowly going to be... Yeah, we can transfer supplies when it's done. Basically, once we've ditched half of the supplies, we're going to toss these ones, and then when we've ditched the other half, we're going to toss these ones. Ideally, that'll be well after we've started coming home from Duna, because I don't want these guys to run out of supplies. Although I have a contingency plan if they do. So regex, I'm gonna collect those experiments with regex. Let's go ahead and open this up. Regex is going to hop out. Where is he? Oh, that was a mistake. Okay, regex has to be up here. Yeah, because this door is blocked. I'm surprised it didn't say that the hatch was blocked. That could have been mission ending right there. That's crazy. Starvin' Marvin is going to be the second guy. So he's actually going to, not IVA. He's going to transfer himself. Where is he? Starvin' Marvin. There we go. Transfer. We're going to transfer him into the actual ship. Into the orbiter part of the ship. And then Regex, who apparently was born in a barn, is going to close this door here. There we go. And then he is going to come down and get into the pod that Starvin' Marvin vacated, which I believe is this one. There we go. Whew. That's crazy. Yeah. This here, Starvin' Marvin cannot hop out. He has to work his way through this docking port to get into one of these ships. And this is kind of a cool ship if it was aimed. Tell you what, let's do this. Free mode. There we go. This is my own personal two-person lander can. There was a big discussion on the forums recently about how heavy the two-man lander can is and how annoying it is that it's so heavy. So I built this with two side-by-side things. This is called the Dumbbell, by the way, because this looks like a dumbbell. So these are two just side-by-side ones. And then what I did was, you can't see it, but there's a truss coming up through here, and then this docking port's on top of it. And that's actually how these things are attached. They're not attached radially. There's actually three trusses here. One, two, three, and then these are just clipped into them to make it work. When we come home, we're taking this thing down to Ike and Duna. And then we're going to leave it on the surface of Duna. And then on the way home, what we're going to do is, ideally, we'll be out of fuel in these guys. And then the only thing that's actually going to be coming home is the core here. This fuel, these three lander cans, and this thing. And then when these parachutes go off, they're actually going to kind of be going around this guy. That's a little bit of a thing we need to do. And apparently we can do an atmospheric pressure scan in space. So let's go ahead and keep that data, and we're going to hop Regex back out. The rest of this is boring until we get to Duna, so I'm actually not going to show you the mid-course correction or anything. You don't need to see it. We've all been through that before. The next thing to happen is, as far as you're concerned, is us or the scanner is going to get to Duna. So I will see you then. You guys might be in trouble. I left the craft to go do something else, and I came back, and this happened. The Infernal Robotics thing should be on these decouplers. One of them is here, and it's apparently the one that's supposed to be on this decoupler. And I don't know where the engines are, or whether or not they'll still drain fuel out of the fuel tanks. But we're going to keep going anyway, because everything's still attached to each other. We're going to see what happens. So let's get to our maneuver node. Okay, the ship is unbalanced. So it actually knows what's going on with the fuel things being distant from everything. I don't know where the other engines are, but they don't appear to be involved in the thrust here. I guess I could disable this engine. Nope, they're thrusting. Can I disable them from here? No, I can't. Oh, wait, I can see them. One is inside this fuel tank. And then one is inside this fuel tank, apparently. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, we are going to, we're going to reactivate this engine. Yeah, this is not going to work. I didn't really have this in mind when I planned this mission. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. I don't know what to do. These kind of problems drive me nuts. You all know that. I'm using the time warp bug to arrest my rotation. I'm assuming the problem is with Infernal Robotics. That's all I can imagine. And that gets us a very, very close encounter with Duna. I think if we go a little bit faster, we'll actually get an aero brake. Okay, that's good enough. We can fix the rest of it when we're in orbit. Okay, we are actually getting to Duna. Wow, a significant number of days before the resource scanner. I was kind of hoping the resource scanner would get there first, so we could test aero brake with that guy. But I guess we're not going to. Okay, let's take some stuff here. I'll meet you guys at Duna. Okay, we are at Duna. We're going to take all these, and then I'm going to show you. I'll set up my aero brake, and then we will we'll worry about actually getting it done when I get back. Okay, everything's different now in Kerbal Space Program, so I have no idea what a correct aero brake is, but I'm going to try 13 kilometers, and we're going to see what happens. What we need to do here is find Duna. There she is. This ship is crazy looking, and I have no idea why these things are highlighted. The game just decided to highlight them. Let's go ahead and come on in here. Okay, I think we can stow our solar panels and then see what happens here at 13 kilometers off the surface. I think we can afford to do an EVA report. He got back in. We're not doing another EVA report, that's for sure. We should probably close these. And if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna do another one, and I'll come back when I've found one that works. This is actually looking pretty good though. Looks like, yeah, this was too low. 13 is too low, so I'm going to hit F9. Let's try 20 and see what it does. Yeah, 20 was too much. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. I'm going to go up to 25, and then we'll live with whatever it has with us. Yeah, if 25 is too high and we have to slow down a little bit, that's not a big deal. Because we have plenty of fuel. What we don't have is the ability to lift this entire thing off of Duna. Yeah, see, the worst part is I can't brake very much because I lose the ability. I can't thrust very hard, I should say, because I lose the ability to hold my line. This is horrific. I just wanted the ship that I built. That's all I want. I am about to scrub this mission and just ditch the fuel that we have here and then come home with all the science we have. But we have to get into Duna orbit for that to be viable. Okay, we're in orbit. It's a terrible, terrible orbit, but we're in orbit. But hey, we got a free Ike encounter. So I guess we're at least gonna get the orbit around Ike science. Oh, this makes me so mad. And then we're gonna have to toss this away. Close the alarm and unpause. Or these things are full. Okay, I'm gonna collect all the science. I'm gonna toss this thing aside. Then we're gonna fix our orbit, and then we're gonna start planning the rescue mission that doesn't use Infernal Robotics. And I'm mad. Okay, that was a pain in the butt, but I think Ike will not be able to grab us. And that's it. I actually forgot to ditch this. It doesn't have any science in it. There's nothing of worth in it. So we're going to toss it. And the whole purpose of tossing that is so that when the rescue ship comes, he'll have something to dock to, because these guys are going to be out of food and they're not going to be able to do anything. And I think at this point, I'm going to leave it. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a rescue ship to dock to this thing. It's going to be automated. It's going to have a ton of food, and it's going to have a new dumbbell. And what we're going to do is we are going to disconnect the lander from this dumbbell, and then uninstall Infernal Robotics and just live with the fact that we obviously can't have fun toys. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I kind of enjoyed playing it. I am Fifth Horseman, and I will, as always, talk at you later.